Shalom, family. Welcome to Ancestral Israel Nutrition with Mambo Otilyah. I am your host, again, Mambo Otilyah. As promised, I'm bringing you the second part of, technically the first part of the difference between black men's bodies and white men's bodies. This report is from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and it seemed like they have like different value and different improvement of this research, right? So this one is volume 71, issues in June 6, 2000. Okay, so before we get started, I want to do the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarships, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So I don't have any violent content, so I will not say discretion is advised. Okay, so let's get started. I hope you guys can hear me. Let's see. The measures of body composition in black and white men. So the first report, this been also reported by CBS News. CBS News also reported this as well, so you guys can look this up. And the title is Measures of Body Composition in Black and Whites and Comparative Review. Well, actually, it's black and white, not men, but black and white people, right? So here it says that biological differences exist in the body composition of black and white. We review literature on the differences and similarities between the two races relative to fat-free body mass, like water, mineral, and protein, fat patterning, the body dimension, and proportion. In general, black have a greater bone mineral density and body protein content than do whites, resulting in greater fat-free body density. Additionally, there are racial differences in the distribution of the subcutaneous fat and the length of the limb relative to the trunk. You know how our sisters have the, we have the big bottom. I mean, and so of our men, cushion. Where am I? Okay, the possibility that these differences are a result of ethnicity rather than race is also examined, because most equations that predict relative body fat were derived from predominantly white samples. Biological variation between the races in this body composition index has particle significance. So basically, they use only white people. They didn't use, black people. So to make this, stuff for the nutrition and stuff. Systematic error can result in the inaccurate estimation. Estimation. What is this? An accurate estimation of the relative body fat of blacks and therefore of definition of obesity if these inherent differences are ignored. Yeah, I gotta read that again. Sorry, guys. I don't know. Let me start back. Okay, because the most equation that predicts relative body fats were derived from predominantly white samples, biological variation between the races and these body composition index has particle significance. Systematic error can result in an accurate estimation of the relative body fat of blacks and therefore the definition of obesity if these inherent differences are ignored. So yeah, they've been messing with our diets, nutrition. They do that on purpose because they know that our bodies are different. So they do that because they want to confuse our bodies like they confuse. Therefore, they giving us all this junk. And then we wonder why we're getting sick. It's not the food, the natural food that we eat. We shouldn't be removing meat and sugar and all the stuff because our body were made to be able to handle all those things. And I think it's because they add all these crazy stuff. They use their white people's bodies as the model, as the general, the prototype for everybody else's body. But we are superior. Our bodies are superior. So the stuff we can eat, they can't eat. And the way we should take care of our bodies is totally different. However, they have been giving us these crazy nutritional guidelines that doesn't work for us. And so all it does, it leaves our bodies open again to sickness, to diseases, and all type of stuff. So we have to do better. So I'm going to continue reading. Please do your research and you will find this out. And I'm not just making this up. Traditionally, the classic two-component model of series is the model that they use, and Brozak et al. Two, which separate the body into fat and fat-free component, have been used to obtain reference measures of body composition. The fat-free body, they put in parentheses FFB, fat-free body, can be further subdivided into water, protein, and mineral component. This chemical model relies on several assumptions. One, that the density of fat is 0.9007. Okay, and the gram. And that the density of the FFBD, which stands for the fat-free body density, which is black people, is at 1.100 gram. That the proportion of density of the FFB component water, which is 73.8%, and protein, which is 19.4%, and mineral, which is 6.8%, are constant of all individuals. So the fat-free body composition, this right here is supposedly is constant in everybody, right? But the fat-free density, is only common in black people. That's basically. And as we read this, I'll make it more clear because I have the ABCs one. They broke it down for us. The relative percentage and densities of the FFB component were derived from cadavers analysis of small sample of white men. However, the relative proportion of water, protein, and mineral, and thus the overall FFBD vary with age, sex, and amount of body fatness, right? So activity levels and racial or ethnic origin, 3 to 5. So, however, the relative proportion of water, however, the relative proportion of water, protein, and mineral, and those of overall FFBD vary with age, sex, amount of body fatness, activity levels, and racial or ethnic origin. So basically, it varies depending on, the person, between black and white. Okay, so actual variation from the assumed FFBD result and systematic error when the two-component model equations are applied to estimate relative percentage body fat. Those whereas the two-component model equation may provide accurate estimates of body fat for average white men. This body composition model is not suitable for blacks whose FFDB varies from the assumed value of 1.100 gram. When public health policies are being established or research is being conducted on the prevalence of obesity or obesity-related diseases, an accurate estimate of body fat can affect research finding and have far-reaching implication, which is true. This is especially important for black population because, as Kumanika note, black Americans have a high prevalence of obesity related diseases. And why is that? Well, if we eating stuff that's not really good for us, if we are if we are having we having confused nutrition guidelines, how are we supposed to not have all these sickness? Remember, our Father told us what we need to eat, what we should eat, and what we shouldn't eat. So if we take away from what he tells us to eat, of course our bodies is going to be the same. We're going to have more sickness, more diseases. Everything is going to be amplified in us because we're not putting the right food into our bodies. We're not listening to our Father. We are listening to the Gentile versus our Father. Please, let's get back to basic. Where was I? Okay. In addition, the most recent update of the third National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, the A is abbreviation NHANES3, indicate that 52% of black women are overweight. However, the NHANES3 data use a crude indicator of obesity, body mass index, right? Sorry about that. Body mass index as a criterion for overweight. BMI equals 27.8. I think that's what the criteria is, 27.8 for men and 27.3 for women. So this BMI does not apply to us black people because, it doesn't apply to us. It's not working for us. BMI correctly identify obesity and only. So you hear that? The BMI correctly identify obesity in only 50%, 50.6% of racially mixed sample of 230 women and 150 men. And this is a mixed race. And you know they have less blacks in those things than they do any other race. Yet they use the same measurement for us when they know exactly that we are not the same. Right? So correctly identify only, I said that. So they say, and there were 49.4% of false negative results and accurately classify as lean. So this thing is rigged. That's why they always showing that they are lean and we are not. But they say one thing, but nature shows us something different. The evidence shows something different. No matter what they do, I was watching Quinn Obadiah Shakur today about this girl. They had this girl remove her beads from her braids. Anyway, I know that we're not supposed to do that, and I know that the Most High hand is in this. But she was saying how she feels that they do that because whenever they think we're going to win, whenever they think we're going to have a up on them, something, over them, they always come with some weird stuff to disqualify us. So they play mind game, warfare with us, so we can lose because they know we're superior. And the fear they always say they see in us is because we don't see how powerful we are. If we take care of our bodies, we don't understand. If we listen to what the Most High tell us to eat, if we eat what He tell us to eat, I guarantee you that we will start to understand. We will start to see ourselves in a different light and see what they see, because they see something that we don't see. That's why they're afraid of us. Even when our hands are tied, we could be we're not even paying attention to them. Sometimes they still feel afraid. That should tell you something. It should tell you that we are superior. If we weren't, why would they be so afraid? That means we are magic. We are magic within ourselves. And all we have to do is clean up. We have to do deep cleansing, people. Not we go to by the water, or we walk down the street, or we take some herbs and stuff like that. We have to really do some deep cleaning, because there's so many things that have been put on us willingly and unwillingly, knowingly and unknowingly. Some of these things, they don't even realize that they're doing that. So we have to stand up and do something different. So we have to follow what our Father tells us to do. He tells us to eat the meat. He tells us to eat. Let's eat that. The fish He tells us to eat. Let's eat that. The plants and the grains, everything He tells us to eat. Let's eat that and go back to basic, and we will see how powerful our bodies are. And then the stuff that they telling us, how they always be able to kill us and do this, you'll see. You are what you eat. If you're eating the right things that the Father tells us to eat, guess what? I guarantee that we will be ready for this warfare, because this warfare is coming on in so many different ways, in so many different avenues, and we need to be ready for it. Okay? So now, when contrast with body fat criteria obtained by hydrodensitometry, 20% body fat for men and 25% body fat for women, accurate population theory that may partially explain the high prevalence of obesity in blacks and the apparent differences in resting energy expenditure between blacks and white. So Wire et al. Recently found a significantly lower sleeping metabolic rate by 301 and 105 kg in blacks than in white after adjustment for sex, age, and body composition. However, the Siri formula had been used to convert body density to body fat for all subjects, including black male, who are known to have an FFBD significantly greater than that assumed by the Siri formula. One can only speculate to what extent the use of a more accurate race-specific conversion formula to determine body fat percentage would have on this subsequent adjustment of metabolic rate in the finding of the study. This is just 1%. One recent example of the far-reaching implication that an accurate assessment of body composition can have on research. Additionally, body composition measurement are often used to recommend desirable body weight for athletes, and black constitutes a large portion of today's collegiate and professional athlete. So you see, furthermore, some jobs, such as those in the military and law enforcement, require employees to maintain certain body fat standards. Therefore, an accurate body composition measurement may be crucial in determining whether one falls within the established index for health, performance, and employment. So that's that report that's the one I got from the nutrition, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, right? So this one, the first one is from another website, and then I'll read the one for ABC News. Bear with me, okay? So I'm gonna do a part 2.